Welcome to this Infosec Europe podcast.
So my name is Nick Baglin. I'm the Vice President for EMEA. I joined about 3 months ago. And Guardicore is the market leader in microsegmentation. So one of the biggest threats, I think, has to be ransomware. I think whenever I go to a show like Infosec, I always put myself in the CISO shoes, the CISO that walks onto the floor and thinks, my goodness, where do I start? There are so many threats, so many relevant things that a CISO would have to do. But I think one of the foundational pieces has to be a strategy around how to mitigate against ransomware. I think just in the last month, we've seen a memo come from the Whitehouse urging all American enterprises to take 5 key steps to protecting against ransomware. Then filtered through GCHQ, released something similar. ANSI in France released something similar. So whilst there are so many things that a CISO has to do, it's becoming almost increasingly like a must-have that they have to have a very clear ransomware strategy. What people can do to mitigate against ransomware is a very widely talked about subject at the moment. And as I mentioned, that Whitehouse memo gave a clear 5-point recommendation to all American businesses. On there was the importance of segmenting the network. The reason for that is that if you assume that an attacker is going to breach the perimeter, which is a widely held belief right now, then you're going to want to limit where they can go. You're going to want to limit lateral movement. It's commonly known as limiting the blast radius. So if they get into a certain part of the network, let's segment and keep them where they got in and not give them a wide range or wide reach across a very open network. So that's why microsegmentation and segmentation is being seen as a critical foundational piece of protection against ransomware, but in truth, protection against any breach. So Infosec Europe is a vital part of our industry. It's probably the biggest event in Europe. First of all, it's a great chance predominantly to network. I think that's how I see the show. I think it's evolved over the years, but it's always had a good networking angle to it, and that will remain. I think on top of that, there is obviously the speaking slots, the chance to listen to fresh innovation, fresh ideas, both from very mature vendors, but emerging vendors. There's always been a key theme, but I always come back to the chance to network with different people, vendors and thought leaders in the industry.
Thank you for listening to this Infosec Europe podcast.